Tell us how you became an adoptive father.
Morning, both. Yes, my wife and I spent about 7 years trying to have our own children. And then we went to an adoption agency. We wanted 2 children, a brother and a sister. And these are some of the children that wait longest, sibling groups. And we thought we wanted a baby and an 9-month-old or an 8-month-old so we could have them in our own image. And before we knew it, we'd fallen in love with a 4-year-old and, near 5-year-old and his 2-year-old sister. We had an open mind more than we thought. And before we knew it, they just spoke to us off the page and we fell in love with them.
Interesting you say you had a sort of open mind more than you thought, because, as you said, I suppose most parents start off wanting one thing, but falling in love with a child changes your whole life, doesn't it?
It does, and that's the whole reason for the campaign, Anne. We want people to come to adoption with a much more open mind. We want people to think differently. At the moment, most people come to adoption for a younger child, a baby, like we did. But we want the public to know that these children who wait longest, sometimes for a year longer than most, they might be harder to place, but they're no harder to love.
Yeah, I mean, how long are we talking about? You mentioned a year there. Are there cases where the time period has been longer?
In some instances, yes, some children wait 18 months, 2 years. And what the research very clearly shows us, the longer a child waits for adoption, the less likely they are to be adopted. They're timed out. What we want is for all children to access adoption and forever loving homes in an equal way.
You mentioned that when they consider adoption, you want them to have a more open mind. What do you mean by that? What are the misconceptions or preconceptions they have?
Well, many people don't think they have the skills to adopt an older child. They think that an older child might have more difficulties. Interestingly, within our own experience, in adopting a 5-year-old, we actually knew more about him. We knew about his behaviours. We knew what his triggers were. We knew his experiences. And whilst it's wonderful to adopt a baby, of course, as well, you don't actually know how they're going to behave. So you know more about an older child. But importantly, there's more support available now from adopters than ever before. And so the way in which we're able to prepare people right from the beginning of the adoption process throughout, including things like peer support, access to the government's therapeutic support fund, and also the way in which we link other adopters together for peer support, that makes a massive difference to the way in which people are able to care for all of these children.
And you often hear stories from adoptive parents, or even parents who've tried to adopt and been rejected for some reason, that it's very, very difficult to convince the authorities you're the right person. Is it even more difficult if you are being considered to adopt a child or children who come from those groups that we were talking about, who may be a bit more challenging?
It can be, Anne, but every child is different and every adoptive person that comes forward is different. And it's only right and proper that we do very thorough assessments, because these children have had a difficult start in life. And when we place them with a new family, we need to make sure we're making the right decision. But we know that the support is available, and we know that people, when they have an open mind and that they're given the chance to be vulnerable, to be honest, to ask for help, and to be open and ready, that they can have life-changing experiences.
Well, good luck with the campaign. Before we love and leave you, your story actually has an even cuter ending, because after you adopted those 2 children, tell us what happened.
So, yes, after 7 years of fertility treatment and then saying goodbye to our fertility, a year after adopting, my wife amazingly fell pregnant with triplets.
Wow.
So you've got 5 children.
We went from 0 to 5 in less than 18 months, Anne.
That's
wow.
Incredible, isn't it? Congratulations. It must be wonderful for you.
It is wonderful, hell of a ride, but we couldn't do it without the support of our family and friends and our adoption agency.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hope you get lots of babysitters.
Yeah.
Well, if you're offering...
I think I've done my bit.
You just got yourself in it there, Anne.
Yeah.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.